All right, shalom, shalom. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. All right, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, and the Holy Spirit, and the strength and the power of the Lord. I come to you doing another lesson. And before I start this lesson, I want to give double honors to my apostles and my elders, a great millstone who rule well, all right, and worthy to be accounted double honors, all right. And I will also want to give peace and salutations to every brother, every Akim, preaching the truth, 100% whole truth throughout the four corners of the earth, lifting that name up, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that banner, all right, with sincerity and truth in your heart, and for the love of the gospel, okay? As for me, my name is Shamaria of the Indiana camp, GMS Indiana, all right? And I wanted to do a quick little lesson, and this lesson is going to be about in the evil day, okay? And that great and terrible day, which is what the day of Jacob's trouble. All right, let me get that the day of Jacob's trouble. Okay, that's that dark day of the Lord. All right, and the Lord before the Lord actually comes back, he's gonna have people very in pitiful case. All right, he's gonna have people, all right, doing things that they never thought they were going to do. And one of those things that I wanted to hit, the key factor is if people are going to commit cannibalism, all right, cannibalism is going to be it's going to be a normal thing in these streets of America, man. All right. Now this is the Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Now that last part, he should be saved out of it, is talking about the ones doing the work right now. You know, the ones that believe on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai right now through faith and do work because of that faith. As of this point, before the evil days come, when the evil days come not, those are the people that last part of that verse is talking about. Now let's jump back up to the beginning of that verse. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, so that no other day on the face of earth is like it." All right. Now you have past events where they were recorded in the Bible where people were eating, young boys and girls, eating their young, and it's prophesied that will happen, but it's going to come back on a much larger scale. All right. And I'm going to get into why later, but let me finish this verse out. It says, "So that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble." And Jacob is going to be sorely distressed. Why is Jacob going to be distressed? Let me get it in the Apocrypha. This is right where I need it to be. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. This is why Jacob going to be sorely distressed in that day. It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." See, they didn't think to count themselves as nothing before the Lord. They didn't think to serve the Lord while the evil days come not. They didn't think to do that. They wanted to walk in their own lasciviousness, all right, lust. They wanted to walk in their own pride and the way they deemed they should walk, all right. They didn't want to walk according to the Lord and his statutes and his commandments. All right. Now this is Ecclesiasticus, better known as Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth." All right, put not off from day to day, man. You gotta do the things of the Spirit today, because while we laying up treasures in heaven, and that's all throughout the scriptures, man. Psalms, the ones off the top of my head, Psalms, the book of Tobit, all right, Jeremiah, we laying up treasure, and Matthew, so laying up treasure in heaven by putting in the righteous work, all right, with faith. All right, so it says, "Make no tarrying and turn to the Lord." That means follow these laws, statutes, and commandments with the best of your ability and fully be persuaded in your own mind. It says, "And put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy insecurity thou shalt be destroyed." All right. And then I insecure. This is these people doing. They walking in their great pride. They're not even thinking twice about the Lord. If you're a spiritual person, there's not going to be one day that you don't think about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You're going to think about him every day. And then other things from that, it's going to trigger you to be in the spirit. You're going to think about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're going to thank him for everything he's done for you. You're going to apologize for the sins you commit. All right. And then after that, you're going to be thinking about what? The brothers. You're going to be thinking about what scriptures have you read. You're going to constantly stay in the spirit the more you think about the Lord. All right. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth to the ones to the ones that put off the evil day. It says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and thy insecurity thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. All right. Now, before that day of vengeance, before you perish, you're going to go through great tribulations and troubles. All right. And one of those troubles is the lack of bread. Now let me get that, and then I'm gonna get into when it's prophesied that you're gonna eat the fruit of your own body. Let me get the lack of bread first, because this is why I'm giving you why first, and then I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. All right, and that's the prophet's job, to tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. And how do I know what's gonna happen before it happens? By reading the prophecies that was given to the prophets of old. All right, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Moses, Now, and Ezra's and Second Ezra's, 15. I started. I don't know exactly. Let me get in my Bible. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Salakia. All right, I'm gonna start at 14, and I'm gonna go and read down to 18. 14 through 18. All right. 14 through 19. Salakia. So Second Ezra chapter 14, start at the top. Chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right. Salakia, one second. All right, the scriptures say, woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. All right, because why? We pray not for the world, man. All right, when I say the world, I mean these people are wicked, man, that inhabit this place. That's why I said the inhabitants of this place have walked in great pride, man. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Nigh means near. So the sword and their destruction draweth near. It says, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. All right. For there shall be a sedition among men. All right, the word sedition, when you go into it, it means an uprising. Let me turn my brightness up. The word sedition, when you go into it, it means an uprising. All right. There should be a sedition among men. I'm at verse 16. A sedition among men, and in invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the curse and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So then there's not going to be any penalization for breaking the laws that we know today. The American laws, you can't murder. All right, you can't steal from anybody. You can't commit theft. You can't commit grand theft auto. You can't, But the course of their actions are going to stand in their power. Why? Because they're not going to regard the kings or the princes. All right, there's going to be an uprising among men, and the kings and princes are going to be there to save you. You victims, you bystanders, is going to get in the crosshairs of that. All right, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. All right, because there's going to be a siege. It's just like in the days of old. It's going to be cut off. They're going to cut off the railroad supply. They're going to cut off the highway so you can't get food. All right, a man shall desire to go into a city and not be able to. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Now, all of these things, all of these verses from verse 5, and I only read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verses in this chapter. I only read 6 verses in this chapter. Do any of these verses sound like something that's going to be good? And it's talking about the evil day, the day of Jacob's trouble. All right. This is not a good day or a day of peace and glad tidings. All right. Let me get think it's Zephaniah 1 and 15. Zephaniah 1 and 15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. All right, now that's just a description of what that day is going to be like, man. Now, I'm giving you some things in the second Ezra 15 of what's going to happen. Verse 19, here's the point. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And it's written in the book of I think it's Matthew's 24th chapter. It says that the love of many shall wax cold. All right, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, and that's exactly what's going to happen in that day. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread thereof for great tribulation. All right, now pay real close attention to that. The lack of bread thereof. All right, it says they shall destroy your houses with the sword and spoil your goods because of the lack of bread thereof. Now, one other thing that they're going to do because of the lack of bread thereof is going to eat their young. All right, I want to get it in on my sword. They're going to eat their young. And it's let me get the prophecy before I get the actual events. All right. Now, this is the prophecy first in the book of Numbers, Leviticus, the 26, 29. This is the main focal point of my lesson. That's how I titled this. You shall sodden your children. Ye shall sodden your children, because that's what's going to happen because of what? The lack of bread thereof. All right, it said, a man shall desire to go into a city and not be able to. That's going to be a cutoff. They're going to cut off the food supply. All right, and it's going to be, to put it vividly, if you ever seen a series called The Walking Dead, it's going to be a lot like The Walking Dead, where the zombies are going to be people, all right, killing one another. And you're going to have to defend yourself against them people while still trying to get something to eat of the from the shortage. All right. Now this is Leviticus chapter 26 verse 29. It says, "And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat." All right. Now that was a prophecy. All right. Before it actually happened, Moses told the children of Israel this in the book of Leviticus. All right. Let me get another one. This is let me just go ahead and look it up. Deuteronomy 28 and 58. Deuteronomy 28 and 58. Salakia. I thought it was 28 and 58. Let me look at my Bible. I know where it's at in my Bible. Deuteronomy, is it 53? Yeah, it's 53. 53. Deuteronomy 28 and 53. It reads, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thine sons and thine daughters, which the Lord thine God hath given thee, in the siege, in the straitness therein, thine enemy shall distress thee." All right, now that already happened in the year 70 AD. That's already happened, but it's going to happen again on a much, much larger scale. All right. It happened in 70 AD, and it happened again when the Babylonians was taking over Jerusalem. All right. When the Babylonians invaded during the time of Jeremiah, all right, it happened again. The people were eating their children, man. It's in the book of Lamentations. All right. Let me get that Lamentations, because it happened already before, but it's gonna happen again on a much larger scale. I'm gonna get Kings first. I'm gonna get 2 Kings. Now, this is a real account. All right. 28. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 28. "And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thine son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thine son, that we may eat him. And she have hid her son. All right. So the king is walking through Jerusalem, and he sees a woman. All right. And he asks her, What's wrong with you? And the woman said that she met another woman, and they made an agreement that they'll eat each other's son. She'll eat her son today and eat the other woman's son on the next day. But what happened was she hid one of the women hid her son the next day. So you can see that Israel was being crafty in their wickedness, man. Because it's in the law that we're not supposed to eat. We're only supposed to eat a certain kind of flesh, and human flesh is not in the law. So that makes it a sin. So it's wickedness. All right, and it said, verse 29. So we boiled my son and did eat him, and I said unto her the next day, Give thine son, that we may eat him. And she have hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, he rent his clothes and passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. All right, because he was in mourning. That was a custom back then. You put sackcloth when you were in mourning. All right, you rent your clothes. All right. He was sad, and he was depressed because he's seen Israel fall to such low estate. But it's going to fall even lower in this last great shebang. All right. Let me get Lamentations. I'm gonna close it up with Lamentations. This is Lamentations, chapter 4, verse. I started 9. Yeah. All right. Slocky. This is Lamentations chapter 9. Slocky, chapter 4, verse 9. It says, They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. All right, for these pine away, stricken through for want of fruits of the field. All right, so basically it's saying if it's better for you to be killed, then it's better you be killed by a sword. All right, than to because the sword is quick and immediate. You die within minutes. Okay, but hunger, oh, it's gonna linger. It's stages to hunger. You're gonna die in about a week, a couple of weeks sometimes, and actually, truthfully speaking, you're gonna die when the Lord wants you to die, because it says that many shall seek death and not find it. All right, so it's better because the Lord could prolong your hunger. He could actually have you starving and find a little something to make the duration of your starving last longer until you die. All right, and then he have you get killed at the end of your starvation when you finna die. All right, the Lord, no one knows how he operates. All right, anything's possible with the Lord. Okay, so the next verses, because this is what's gonna happen because you're hungry, because you can't sit through the starvation. What's gonna happen? Verse 10, it says, The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. All right, now the word sodden goes into boiled. All right, to boil, to cook, to bake, to roast, to ripen, grow ripe. So they're gonna sodden, they're gonna cook their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. So the Lord had those people, wicked people, going off eating their young, man, and it's gonna happen again on a much broader scale. Okay. Now that's all I have for now, and I want to give double honors again to my apostles and my elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, from the apostles to Har on down. All right. And I want to give double honors to, I want to give my condolences and my peace and my blessings to every brother preaching the truth about the four corners of the earth with truth and sincerity in the hearts. All right. And I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Before I end it, and with that, I hope this video is edifying. And until next time, I'm going to say shalom to Yakim.